Okay, so kung naalala nyo, early this year, na-review ko nga yung POCO X6 Pro na eto nga yung sinabi ko tungkol doon. Ito na ang sasabihin ko na best value smartphone of 2024. Yes, ngayong kaaga pa nga lang. And tama nga yung hinala ko na eto yung makakatalo doon, ang POCO F6. Ito na nga para sa akin ang best value smartphone of 2024. Yes, alam ko sinabi ko na yung last time pero binabawi ko na nga. Unless, well, something else crazy happens this year na matatalo yung value neto. Medyo malabo dahil sa chipset neto, which is basically the equivalent of an 8 Gen 2 from last year. Ayun yung maniwala, ayan. So at least base sa 1 week na ginamit ko to, there's really no sense to buy the POCO F6 Pro, yung Pro version neto. This is already an insane phone. Unless lang siguro kung gusto mo yung more sleeker design on, glass back, ganun. Pero basically, if ikaw yung sa mga tao na ang budget mo for a smartphone is 20k, ayaw mong gumastos over that sa mga flagship smartphone, sa mga gaming smartphone, ganun, look no further than the POCO F6. Ito na, ang mararecommend ko kagad sa inyo, it's insane. And yeah, there's really nothing wrong with this device. For 20k, a little over 20k para sa MSRP neto, pero as of making this video, 6.6 ngayon. Under 20k na lang to, which is an insane value for, again, a flagship feeling smartphone. And para sa akin, definitely a significant upgrade from last year's POCO F5. So sa mga nagtatanong dyan, I think this is, actually dapat sinabi ko pala yon sa dulo ng video na to, pero yon, nasabi ko na nga. So I've been using the POCO F6 for about a week and this is my full review. Okay, so bago tayo mag-proceed sa actual review part ng video na to, ito lang pretty much yung specs na kailangan nyo malaman dito sa POCO F6. So 6.67 inch na AMOLED, 120Hz HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and protected yan ng Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, yung Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 na basically, yeah, equivalent nga ng 8 Gen 2. Itong base version na nasa akin with 8 gigs of memory and 256 gigs of storage, tapos UFS 4.0 storage yan. Ang very impressive na main camera sensor neto, f1.6 OIS. Really good dual stereo speakers with a 5000 mAh battery and 90 watts of fast charging. And like I mentioned earlier, there's really nothing wrong with this device unless na lang siguro kung ininitpick mo yung build quality neto with that plastic back and plastic frame. Pero overall structure niya, as nakikita nyo, it's really good. Definitely a noticeable improvement from last year's POCO F5. So pagdating sa design niya sa likod, it's okay. It's basic. Yun siguro yung pag-describe ko dito. Not a big fan nung huge camera bumps niya para sa 50 megapixel sensor and yung 8 megapixel ultra-wide, yes, thank you. Hindi yan extra sensor. As much as POCO wants you to think na additional na third camera yan. So ito nga nasa akin ngayon is yung titanium color option, available then in a green and black variant. And siguro ang pinaka gusto ko sa design na itong F6 is hindi siya glossy back. Hindi glossy finish yung likod niya. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya fingerprint magnet and scratches will show less here. Na while may lang yung design niya sa likod, yung front niya is where it's at. As nakikita niyo naman mga kaibigan, ang sexy ng bezels niya. Yung side top. Not so much for the bottom chin. Medyo sizable pa din yung bottom chin niya compared sa side and top bezel niya. Considering then that this is a mid-range smartphone, ang insane nung sexiness ng bezels niya. Sa right side nga ng phone is ang power button natin with the volume rockers which are nice and clicky. Lean tayo sa left side and at the top, yan nga yung top speaker grill natin which works in conjunction actually with the earpiece speakers, IR blaster, and the secondary noise cancelling microphone. Sa bottom naman, we have the SIM card tray. Yes, dual SIMs lang yan, no micro SD card expansion, main microphone, USB Type-C charging port, and bottom firing speakers. And at the front nga, isang 6.67 inch na display natin, a hole punch para sa front-facing 20 megapixel sensor, and of course, ang earpiece speaker grill natin. And moving on naman sa 6.67 inch na AMOLED display nato, it's really good. I can confidently say na flagship level din yung display na to. So pretty much pitch blacks yan and not too oversaturated yung colors niya. And nasa ID naman dito sa display settings is pwede mong ibahin yung color scheme niya. So dito lang ako nag-stick sa original color pro. May option ka pa din for vivid, saturated kung gusto mo mas nagpop-pop yung colors. Pero for me, this is already great as is. Of course, 120Hz to, so very nice yan, very smooth and very responsive yung display. The display gets really bright even under direct sunlight, so perfectly readable yung display na to even under direct sunlight. And pretty much no color shift even at extreme angles. So very, very nice. And pagdating naman sa cameras neto, which surprisingly is actually really good, especially for a mid-range smartphone. Kasi usually, if lalagyan mo yung smartphone ng gantong kalupit na chipset, yung 8S Gen 3, tapos relative sa chipset niya, you're gonna be selling this phone at a low price. Yung camera department usually nagko-compromise yung company. So that's something that they won't really focus on. Nerd joke. So 50 megapixel main sensor, 8 megapixel ultra wide, tapos 20 megapixel na front-facing camera. Now, in good lighting, results are really good. Like, hindi mo na-expect to for a smartphone that costs only 20K. Siguro, masasabi ko lang sa picture quality neto that I'm not a huge fan of is oversaturated ng konti yung colors. Other than that, that's it. And pretty decent din yung 8 megapixel ultra wide neto. You can take some really nice and detailed selfies. Plus, combined with OIS, you can take some pretty impressive low light or nighttime shots. Solid din yung night mode neto. So, ito yung example ng medyo extreme na low light or nighttime shot. Tapos, ito naman yung itsura niya with night mode on. Okay, so ito yung vlog test sa POCO F6 recording in 4K at 30 FPS using the main 50 megapixel sensor. And of course, what you're hearing right now is from the internal microphone of the F6. Tapos ito naman yung quality ng front-facing 20 megapixel sensor, recording in 1080p 30 fps, and no, unfortunately, para sa smartphone na ang MSRP niya is 20K, I was expecting that you can record in 4K using the front-facing camera, but unfortunately, you can't. Up to 1080p 30 fps lang using the front-facing 20 megapixel sensor. So, verdict ko sa camera performance netong POCO F6, it's really good already, especially again for a mid-range smartphone, which I don't really see the reason. Like, palagay na natin sabihin nila na mas impressive yung cameras ng POCO F6 Pro. Cannot really be that much better compared sa mga results na to. And ang main event natin, mga kaibigan, ang performance with that 8S Gen 3 UFS 4.0 storage. Basically, day-to-day task is a breeze for this phone. Like, ang basic lang gawin ng mga tasks na yon. Multitasking, opening, closing apps is snappy. There's really no hiccups here. Kahit dito sa base configuration with 8 gigs of memory and 256 gigs of storage, this is already great. Na hindi mo na kailangan, siguro unless na lang kung bitin ka, since wala nga micro SD card expansion to, kung bitin ka sa 256 gigs neto, then obviously go for the 512 gig variant neto. So this is running on Xiaomi's HyperOS 1.0.3 on top of Android 14. Tapos pagdating sa gaming performance, basically wala lang yung Call of Duty, Farlight, PUBG, Wild Rift dito. Although medyo demanding na dito ang Wuthering Waves and ang Aether SX2. So ito nga yung graphic settings niya sa Call of Duty. And again, sa apat na games, sa first 4 games na makikita nyo is basic nga lang to para sa POCO F6. Ito naman, Farlight 84.
I'm being ambushed. Are you blind?
PUBG Mobile. And siguro ang pinakamadaling game na na-run neto, ang Wild Rift. And yeah, ang only 2 apps na nagpahirap sa phone na to is yung Wuthering Waves and yung Aether SX2. So dito sa Aether SX2, very smooth naman siya for the most part. Tapos dito sa Wuthering Waves or kung ano man yung pronunciation sa laro na to, ito nga yung graphic settings, and para dito and sa Aether SX2, ang max temp na nakuha ko is around 43 degrees Celsius. Although, if ma-max out mo yung graphic settings dito sa Wuthering Waves sa highest, so advanced, tapos 60 FPS, ultra high, on ang FSR, tapos yun din high. Ito lang yung pagkakataon na makakaramdam ka ng mga microstutter sa laro na to, and umaabot yung max temps na ito ng 45 degrees Celsius, which is still okay. Not great, but okay. Of course, for the smoothest experience, just stick to medium graphic settings para dito at 60 FPS. Siguro yun din, since newer chipset pa lang, yung 8S Gen 3 na nandito, there's still more optimization that can be done here. And sa mga may hard-on nga dyan para sa mga Antutu scores, yan nga ang resulta ko sa Antutu. Tapos para naman sa under-display fingerprint scanner neto, it's fast and accurate for the most part, although I really would have preferred a physical side-mounted fingerprint scanner, mainly because again of the functionality na pwede mong i-add doon, like yung simple tap lang tapos swipe, ganun. Although kahit paano dito naman sa additional settings is meron naman tayong gestures, yan, gesture shortcuts, tapos back tap, so pwedeng double tap para sa mga function or command na gusto mo. Sa akin nakaset siya sa take a screenshot. Yan. Pwede din triple tap, pero again, I would have preferred to have a physical side-mounted fingerprint scanner. But oh well, pinili nga ng POCO is under-display optical fingerprint scanner. Tapos less up naman is a battery neto. It's excellent. 5,000 milliamps. So sa medium to heavy use ko of social media, watching videos, some gaming, and picture taking, I was able to easily end the day with well over 40% left with about 6 hours of screen on time. Tapos if ever lang naman na mapatay mo yung phone na to, before the end of the day, you can charge this from 1% to 100 in 40 minutes. Of course, with the included 90-watt fast charger, take note nyo din, dito sa battery settings is may option ka pa, yan, para i-boost palalo. Kasi by default, naka-off yung speed up charging neto, yung boost charging. And that's mainly to prevent the phone from heating up. Kasi if naka-on pareho yan, umaabot yung temps ng phone ng 43 degrees Celsius. So, up to sa'yo na yun. For example, if nasa air-conditioned room ka naman and gusto mo ma-maximize talaga yung charging speed neto, ayan, i-turn on mo pareho to. Yung speed up charging tapos boost charging speed. Pero kung naka-turn off naman pareho yan, is abutin yan from 1% to 100 in about 50 minutes. So, significantly slower siya. But hey, if gusto mong ma-preserve yung battery health ng phone mo, then go ahead and do that. Siguro yung advertise ni POCO na 35 minutes from 2% to 100 if i-charge mo to sa napakalamig na kwarto. Or siguro kung chargean mo to sa tapat ng AC. Ganon. And take note pa nga pala dito sa battery settings, may option ka pa for ultimate mode. So, basically parang overclock siya na version, ganun. Pero kahit na ganun is may warning pa din naman ng POCO na this might increase power consumption and lead to overheating issues. So, if gagamitin nyo man yon, I highly suggest, kahit na nasa balance mode ka lang sa kahit anong smartphone is mag-invest ka sa magandang phone cooler. Lalo na if ikaw yung isa sa mga hardcore mobile gamer na magdamag na naglalaro siguro is, yeah, definitely invest in a phone cooler. Of course, yun din para ma-preserve yung battery health ng phone mo, yung overall lifespan ng device mo. And wala naman taong nakalimutan, this phone is basically an all-arounder. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's insane for its price. Like, dun pa lang sa chipset nyo where most of your money is going. Definitely a significant improvement from the POCO F5 from last year in terms of performance. Of course, that's not to say din na bad value na ngayon yung POCO X6 Pro since dinethrone ko siya as the best value smartphone of 2024. The POCO X6 Pro is still an insane smartphone. Lalo na as of making this video, pwede mo siya mabili for under 15K. Pero considering din kasi na Snapdragon yung chipset neto, and mas optimize siya. So, sa mundo kasi ng mga smartphones, yung equivalent kasi ng Qualcomm is basically like Intel, tapos yung MediaTek is AMD. Lalo na kung hilig mo is running emulators on your device, definitely get this phone. Mag-invest ka sa POCO F6. And yeah, I feel like in performance neto, at least 3 years tatagal ng smooth sailing yung performance neto. Great build, great display, great cameras then, and excellent battery life. And like I mentioned earlier, again, there's really nothing wrong with this device. Have no major complaints here. Sinabi ko ba din, of course, yung mga complaints ko dito, mga nitpicks ko. Pero other than that, kung budget nyo nga in a smartphone is 20K or under 20K, kasi madalas na magsisale to malamang for under 20K, look no further. The POCO F6 is the one for you. Gagawa pa ako ng dedicated gaming video dito. So, abangan nyo nga yan for next week. And of course, kung gusto nyo bilhin yung sarili nyong POCO F6, then I'll leave the links in the description. Gamitin, of course, yung Shopee affiliate link ko if you're gonna buy from them. Napakalaking tulong din sa akin. Again, wala naman taong nakalimutan. As always, leaving a like is the easiest way to support the channel. Consider subscribing if you like my content and turn on notifications for all so you'll be updated on my latest videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Flip a bag, now I'm serving a Tesla. Going back, shawty with me, I stepped up. GTA for the ops, ain't no less stuff. Shawty born to be my angel, yeah, I'm blessed up. Cooking right up in the stool, gotta check the fan.